Lead it then. I'm Kambry, and this is...
Frank, how you doing?
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a few questions. They're a little bit out there, so we'll see if you're ready.
Out there, okay.
Yeah. Do you have any unusual talents? Hold on, say that again. Do you have any unusual talents?
Not that I can think of. I know talking with my friends, he has a hard time whistling and snapping his fingers, so maybe a little bit of that.
That's fair. You did say you lived in Korea, though.
Yeah, I did live in Korea, so I wouldn't say that's a talent, though.
Yeah, it's not a talent, but it's unusual, right?
Yeah, that's true. 2.5 years is a long time for living overseas in a foreign country. I guess you could say it's a talent being able to get around those areas without speaking the language. You get very good. It's like yes.
So I have a question. What's the most unusual food you ate in Korea?
Oh man, it's the most unusual food. Pig intestines, probably. They have a lot of times they have like a blood sausage that's done in the pig intestines. And they have like a tripe soup. So that's probably the worst thing I saw, or not the worst thing, but the most interesting, probably the thing I didn't want to have, is they have this thing called bandegi. And bandegi is a traditional dish that they serve for a lot of the older people, and it's fried silkworm larvae. And they make them in these giant woks. And they're just sitting out there, and they'll just do a cup of them, and it's like, here you go. And it's just like, I did not want any part of that.
And did you try it?
No, I've never tried it. I drew the line there.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll have whatever. It's like, if it's from an animal, I'll try it. Like I've had that. I've had they do a lot of fresh beef, raw fresh beef. So like kind of like beef tartar.
Yeah.
They'll do that over there too. But it's like that's fine because it's from a real animal. It's like I can't eat the bugs.
Yeah, it's safe. It's not larva.
It's not larva.
Essentially.
Some of them really loved it. Like a lot of the work, I had coworkers like, "Oh, you never tried it?" I'm like, "Nope, can't have it."
I don't think I could do that either.
Nope.
No,
especially when
chance.
they actually look like the larva. Like we have some places here that will cook them up and like fry them. It doesn't look like larva or anything like that. It's like, okay, that's. I won't do it, but at least it's more understandable. It's like I just can't get over that.
Oh, so gross. All right. So, what movie makes you cry?
Movie makes me cry. The thing is, I haven't really like watched a lot of movies recently.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to think of like what would be a good one to say. You could say like your typical ones, like I was in the Army. It's like Saving Private Ryan would be a great one. But it's just like I've probably looked at it a bit more clinically than other that. So, but let's go with For a Few Dollars More. I believe that's the one where they have the end scene with the chimes when you find out that the guy that plays Angel Eyes, which I can't remember the guy's name from the Western. It's just like he was doing this all for the revenge of his daughter, family. So
okay.
This is like, he finally. It's just because I guess he finally got his comeuppance.
His justice.
Yeah, his justice.
Those are always good movies. What is it called?
I believe it's For a Few Dollars More. I might be wrong on that one, but it's the one with the chimes. It's a Clint Eastwood movie. There's a number of them that all have like the same kind of title, and it's just like, man, it's been a long time since I've watched it. But I will go back and watch that scene on YouTube sometime. So
yeah,
it's a good scene.
It's just like very emotional and like
it's like always the final gun battle scene, and it's after that part. So it's kind of just like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. He's really got it,
Sounds like it was very impactful. It is an impactful scene. Okay, so what is the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you inside or outside lifting?
I haven't had many recently, but ones that I remember would be when I played football and Army. And when you false start, and like I think I had a couple against Rutgers when we were playing in Yankee Stadium. And it's just like when you false start and you're the only one out there because we have these big splits and the linebackers play off. So like it's not like a false start for like a kick step or a little one where it's like, okay, who was that? It's like a big one. You're like charging and you're like in the middle of the backfield. You're standing around there like, yep, I'm the one who did this. It's like it's pretty embarrassing.
But hey, you were remembered from that.
Yep.
So
it's like he's that guy.
Yeah. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself as a power lifter?
Probably like 8 or a 9. I could probably do more things with, cleaning up training, being a little bit better at that. Maybe get a coach, things like that. But like, I have good enough total that, it kind of speaks for itself. So 8, 9 is probably a good one because it's not like not like Jesus Oliveira's or something like the Dan Bells, but pretty decent.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into it though. I'm just coming into this world and I'm just like seeing it's intense.
It's a lot of the sides is managing fatigue and all. It's just not like going in and lifting as heavy as possible and crushing the weight as much as possible. Because I used to do that when I was younger for football training, and you end up being overly fatigued and you're not recovering. And a lot of times that's what makes the difference between guys. It's just like, hey, they can manage their recovery better.
Okay, that's actually good to know. It's more like would you say maybe endurance based or not so much?
It's more like timing when to go heavy on your lifts, because you obviously with the sport that revolves around going to the maximal, it's like you have to be able to do that, but knowing when you're able to go into that area and when you shouldn't be going into that area is the big difference. Because like if you just do that every week, then you continue, it's like, oh, it worked for me before, I'll just keep hammering away. Eventually it's just going to wear you down and you're not going to recover. Yeah. So that's probably the big part of it.
Okay, so we're gonna rate each one of these guys on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm gonna go through, I'm not asking a question right now. Yep. So I'm gonna go through each of the names and then you're just gonna say, where you would rate them on the scale. So let's see. What would you rate Ed Cohen?
Oh, Ed Cohen? Man, he's a 10 easily. He did, we had these meets like this is a total only meet, and Ed Cohen in those powerliftings in the 1980s, I think 1990s, they would have meets where it was just total only. He's walking in at 220 and he's winning against the guys that are my size. So I was like, he did it, and I'd like to see we're doing the right thing going back to that kind of thing, and or at least having both options. And he's been able to do win at his nationals, win on big meets on total only. He's done it all. So, and he knows how to talk it too. So like that's a good thing too. It's like he can explain it. So he's passing it on too. So it's not only was he a great powerlifter, he's able to here's this video with I think Super Training has a good one for squat with him, and it's just like, yep, if you ever want to know everything about squat, watch that video. Yeah. You're good to go.
He's very educational as well, and he wants to help people, it sounds like.
Yep.
Okay, so what would you rate John Hack?
Modern day GOAT. Maybe a 9, just because maybe he's not the Ed Cohen 10 yet because of longevity. And it's really just like, if he does this for another 4 or 5 more years, yep, he's Ed Cohen essentially. But it's just like he's still competing now, so it's like you can't really compare the two just because it's like, hey, one career is finished. He could do a whole bunch more things. He could even maybe beat out Ed Cohen with the GOAT status based off of like some of what he does. Like maybe his next meet he does like a 2,500 total. It's just like, there he goes. That's your number one guy.
Yeah, time will tell essentially. Okay, so what would you rate Zeblum Drake?
Like an 8. I think he's around my area. He does the squat bar and deadlift bar competitions. He was going to do this one, but he had to pull out. And I think he's probably sitting around like kind of like my area. So I'd give him an 8 solid 8.
Okay, hold on. What would you rate Colton, the record breaker?
Oh, I don't know enough. I've seen his one meet, and he's killed it at that. So, I mean, right now, he's at that 8 level, but that's I don't think that's, he's just there right now. That's hey, I'm here, and next year I'm moving on to bigger and better things.
Okay.
He's gonna blow up like crazy. I just saw what he had 410 sumo pull today, or that he posted or something, or yesterday for 5. It was like, yeah, Nobody's doing that right now, unless Jamal was doing it, but Jamal's had a bit of a tweak or something going on. But like Jamal and him are the only one. But then he's also pulling out those squats and reps too. That he's doing 410 for 5 in that, and then he's benching. I think he's in the 250s, 260s kilos on bench now too. So man, he's going to be putting it together.
Yeah.
He's just going to. I think he just needs a couple more months, just months, not even years, to see what his next meet looks like. And it's just like, yeah, nobody's going to beat him anytime soon.
Okay, okay, hold on. Last person. Oh, what would you rate Sir Dave Richardson?
For this format, for the abs format, I mean, he's number 1 right now, so he's got to be a 10 for there. For like overall with the other meets, like I don't know how well he would compete against like a John Ack for that style. So maybe like 8.5 kind of area for like overall, but right now he's for this format abs he's 10, he's number 1. He hasn't. I don't think he's lost yet, has he?
No, he's.
Yeah, he's won the Clash
he's
and
the king.
He's won all the dots. Or Wilkes, is it? You guys do Wilkes, I believe. So I think they do Wilkes. So he's won those. So it's like right now, he's king of the castle. He's the one that got to knock off.
Yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Yep, that's where we gotta wait. That's how it gotta go. That's it.
Oh, one more,
Oh,
and
yep.
then we're done. What would you rate Dan Bell?
Dan Bell.
Yep.
Probably up there, 9.5. He's the heavyweight GOAT right now for wraps. But the guy that nobody mentioned yet is Jesus Oliveira's got him beating sleeves in the tested side. So he's like he's up there. But some of these younger guys I think are gonna knock us all off.
Yeah.
It's like all we have, like at least Hack, if you look back at him, later years, and same thing with Cone, they did it at like that light body weight. Us big guys are like, they were just strong because they were big, which there's some truth to that, But I think he's 9.5, 9, good area.
Oh. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
No, you're good.